I was completely mad about Kraftwerk and Tangerine Dream and Deutsche Amerikanische Franzkraft, I hope I pronounce it right, and all this music. So it's not like a house music and dance music just started yesterday, you know. It's got a long, long history and even much further back than that.
I learn about my ideas and feel very strongly, but probably because my mother was a hippie in the good sense of the word, I was a punk. I've been brought up with in a way that I don't control other people and other people don't control me. As long as you will let me be myself, I won't be aggressive to you, and vice versa, you know. And that's the sort of philosophy I believe in. And all the people I work with, from the person who's my great friend for 8 years, who makes my album sleeves, to the video directors, to the musicians, to the engineers, to the musicians, to my lawyer, to my accountant, or manager, my secretary, all the babysitter, all the people. I don't work for them and they don't work for me. We work together. If I have to have an effort with making a song, it's not worth it. If songs don't come up by themselves, it means they're not worth the attention. You know, you should never force a song. It just means it shouldn't exist, really. But with these songs, I don't look at them as fantasy at all. They are, of course, sort of a game with reality, but I want them to be, in a way, more real than in reality. I can't think in that way. I've been doing music for such a long time that every time I maybe started to think like that, or anyway started to think what people think of my music, I lose the plot. And because I've several times lost the plot, and it's such a scary feeling you wouldn't believe, that you train yourself not to think that way. The only thing you can do is please yourself. And the more selfish you are, the more generous you are, as contradictional as it sounds. So what I'm always just doing is just do what I need to do at the moment. And the minute I start to please 5 people, I won't please anyone. But if I only please myself, I might please 10 people, you see. Pop music, even though they invented this word, this century, pop, it's always been around, you know, and a natural way of expressing yourself. And I think it saves people every day, all the time, out of serious emotional traumas, and music sympathizes with people in ways that other humans, or your best friends, or your lovers, or whatever, could never do, you know? And another form as well, not only when people are heartbroken, pop music is important, but also in a way to celebrate, which is just as important as sulking or depression, you know? Like all emotions are. No, I have very many sides to me, you know, like everyone. And I would truly think that everybody is rude, nice, mad, happy, sad, stupid, intelligent, genius, boring, exciting. Everybody have all these sides, you know? And
who you are in the most?
Nothing. I'm very different from day to day. And I think everybody are like this. For me, what irritates me about autographs is people are humiliating themselves in front of me. And I think it's terrible. You know, I make music, but okay, you know. And I come from a family of electricians and bricklayers and very hardworking people. And for me, music is the same thing, you know. And there is soul in everything, you know. There is spirituality in everything. It doesn't live It isn't in somebody who holds a microphone, you know, just because I hold, you know, you hold a microphone.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, it's funny.
It's just stupid, you know, and of course, we are all different. If it makes a person next to me happy, if I do like this movement, look, it takes me about 3 seconds. If the person goes, ah! and runs home and is very happy, I'm like, okay, we all got our different kicks in life, you know? But for me, it's just, it don't feel right. It's not because I don't have the time. It's just, I want people to be equal to me, you know, human, you know? I think it is very important. I mean, I'm influenced by everything. By books, by the weather, by the water, by my shoes. You know, if they're comfortable or not, you know, and everything. One of it is music. But I think it's very important with people who are dealing with making music that they are not only influenced by music. And I find it very sad when you find a record and it says on the record, this record was inspired by Miles Davis. Because it's like if you make a film, you don't make a film about a film. You make a film about the real life. And you wouldn't sit down and write a book about the book. You know, it's like recycling. It misses the point. And music isn't brilliant unless it goes beyond the point of being music and becomes real life. And so I'm influenced by real life. And when people listen to my music and say, oh, I can see great influence from this artist in there, I read that and I say, okay, I didn't succeed. But if people listen to my music and say, oh, this made me feel like this and that, and it really feels like this, that's right. It should be beyond style, beyond influence. It should be about pure emotion and real life. The spirit of rock and roll is to do whatever you feel and not have to worry about the consequence. So if I want to jump off this building, way, okay, I don't have to worry about landing and going to hospital, you know. That's the attitude of rock and roll. Drive very fast, you know, do whatever you want to do to the maximum, or sleep with a lot of boys, or if you want to eat 97 cake, but not worry about the consequence. Cool. I think everybody feels like that sometimes. But rock has become the opposite of what it was supposed to be. It's not about freedom anymore. It's become the opposite of freedom. It's so conservative now.
The best thing for me has usually been music. I've seen music cure a lot of people, and it just hasn't usually been documented as well as a heart surgeon will save a person. Yeah, but I guess it's tricky. You have to find the right song for the right person in the right time. I guess that's where the riddle that needs to be solved. Because one song that works one day won't work another day.
You've always been calling me from day one, since I was in school, like since I was 5, that I'm mad, I'm weird, I'm from another dimension. They called me Chinese in school because I just definitely was no way I was from Iceland.
Entscheiden. Wenn Sie blöde Musik hören, dann weil Sie blöde Musik wollen. Und wenn Sie das glücklich macht, ist das großartig. Menschen sollten nicht so snobistisch sein und sagen, dass Beethoven großartig ist und Too Unlimited ist Müll.
I think that say Beethoven is great, but Too Unlimited is crap. I think it's rubbish.
Das ist doch bescheuert. So einfach ist das nicht. Das wäre so, als würde man sagen, Filet Mignon ist toll, aber Bananen sind ein dummes Gewächs. Und das sind sie nicht. Man braucht all diese verschiedenen Dinge und man sollte sie genießen. Und wenn du eine Woche lang nur Toast mit Marmelade essen willst, dann mach das.
If you want to eat toast with jam for a week and that's all you want to eat, do. It's not a question if it's man-made or not man-made. I think it's more a question of if you locate yourself in the right point between nature and techno, you are in now, and it's a very, it changes every day, and you have to be part of both. You can't just be only techno, and you can't be only nature. You have to be right in the middle. Very important. I once tried to learn vocal training 2 years ago when I got into trouble, and I got trained by a gentleman who showed me what state your body is in when you sing opera, and what I realized that the climax of opera was in Europe when we did not believe in our body, and we believed in that in some sort of God, 300 years ago or something, and that the mind was much stronger and better than the body. We were always trying to leave all the body things out, and nature was ugly, and so basically singing opera is trying to sing without your body. It's like I have no legs, I have no hips and sex, and I have no hands. I have just like some higher sense, maybe
2 days a year, like Christmas, you know? But the other days of the year, I would like to be human. I have so much fun being human. Because we got 1,000 years of being on our own on this island, trying to survive pretty rough circumstances. So, and we don't have any religion. So we couldn't sort of scream for help to God or Allah or Buddha or someone. So we always decided to, when we were in trouble, you have to help yourself. So it's very self-sufficient. So if you need, your car breaks down, you fix it yourself. And if you're hungry, you go hunting. And if you get ill, you cure yourself. And if you need a painting on the wall, you paint the painting. And if you need a pink dress, you make a pink dress. So, and if there is no good music to go to dance to and get drunk to in your town, you make it yourself. So I think that's quite good. But I think generalizing is always a bit dangerous. But I like dangerous things, so I did this for you. Okay, I think we have mothers and we have grandmothers and we have great-grandmothers who fought very, very, very many battles, you know? And I think if we have to respect their battles, and they won quite a few, you know? So I think they have opened the cage for us, and I think we should just go out of it and do something. And I think instead of being inside the cage and just scream and shout and say, I'm in a cage, I'm in a cage, I'm in a cage. You should just get out of the cage and do something. And I think it's been so much isolation for so long for women. And I think if you are doing a festival and only women, no men, I think it's having more isolation. So I don't think it's a solution. I think it's a step backwards. You know.
Okay.
Yeah, I think probably all expression is a little bit about chemistry of trying to evening out the pressure from on the inside and outside, and the only way to do that is to make an identical twin of your inside on the outside. So if the vinyl or the CD sound exactly like the one who's on the inside, you get permission to relax, and it's like a pressure release, you know. So I quite it's like almost like a necessity. Like if you don't do it, you go a bit funny, you know. Yeah. So it's again back to survival, I think. I guess my dreams, I feel usually probably more comfortable in them than in situations like this.
Yeah.
I get very...
You're a bit shy.
Well, it just don't seem natural to me. But don't get me wrong, I'm not being ungrateful. I'm very flattered for all your interest, and I mean that sincerely. But in dreams, it's more like emotionally, when you dream is how things are. You know, you have 9 legs, and you feel like you're made out of wood, or somebody turns into a duck or whatever, and for me that's yes, that I agree with that. It's like yes, but with situations like this or daily life situations you're put into, like to go to the customs with your passport and questions you're asked, and then your taxi driver hits a cat or whatever. These situations I'm not so familiar with. I'm still learning about being awake. I'm not very good with being awake. I'm much better sleeper, you know. Yeah. And well, on stage, when I'm on stage singing, that's more similar to when I'm asleep, you see.
Oh, yeah.
It doesn't feel like I'm awake at all.
Oh, yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
And it's so amazing when people tell me that electronic music has not got soul, and they blame the computers. They got the finger and point at the computer. It's like, there's no soul here. It's like, you can't blame the computer. If there's not soul in the music, it's because nobody put it there. And it's not the tool's fault. I remember deciding not that I was going to do my things anyway. There's two ways of... I remember playing with the kids in the street when I was 5 years old, and finding there was two ways of being. There was crossroad. I could be compromise and be what I'm supposed to be, normal, and under the pressure of small-mindedness and bourgeois, or I could have a happy life and have a good time and just do what I want. And I decided rather just to do what I want, because the other thing, it sounds very boring. No, I will never compromise.
Oh, that's
with what I am. I was born this way. I'm beyond help. There is nothing that could rescue me. I was like this when I was 2 years old. It's a very delicate relationship between discipline and freedom. And right in the middle lives joy. Well, I have this theory that, which might not be true, but it's my own imaginative theory that it's always kind of been the same a little bit, like say 1,000 years ago or 2,000 years ago or 1,000 years from now, that it's only a certain percentage that have the courage to be emotional. And then there's all the other percentage that are repeating what was done before. But that's I think that's very natural. I think we are grateful that in a certain way people are conservative and like tradition. You know, certain old ideas are good, like that chairs have 4 legs. It's a good idea. Otherwise we'd fall over.
Yeah, very practical.
Yeah, so, but otherwise, but I think things like, say, for example, the extreme opposite is maybe the feelings. You know, we can only have the feelings we have right now. You know, and I think it's very important that the spontaneity of that.
Right.
And for me, that's my kick in life. You know, I guess.
My sense about you and reading and knowing a little bit about your music is that you have always been in love with sound, all kinds of sound.
Yeah.
Not lyrics, sound.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Tell me about that. I mean, all kinds of sound.
Yeah, it's just the one most all-embracing, forgiving, understanding thing there is. Just in the full abstraction of it. It doesn't ask any questions. Yeah. And you don't have to explain yourself. And it's the one world where that can cover like all the emotional levels of you. I feel a lot, at least I'm the sort of person that when it comes to say something like language or just communicating on a daily basis, I feel like I'm trying to put an ocean through a straw.
You describe the process of acting as one of extreme cruelty.
Well, I don't think it has to be.
But it was.
Yeah, I think creativity doesn't have to be cruel to be good, you know. I think it's a sign of impotency if you think you have to add cruelty to your work for it to be considered art. I think if you are confident enough in what you do, it should you would just let it, you would nurture it, you know, with positive energy. I'm that naive.
I've always felt very sad with pop culture, especially the Andy Warhol and all that period, which was all about erasing mythology and erasing the past and cutting the cord from all past, and that to shoot the roots down into Campbell soups and plastic and manufactured and mass made polka dots, and it's something that I have never found any roots in. I always thought that one could shoot the roots 5,000 years back, have all the mythology one has from nature and from country, and still be completely modern.
I guess for me there's two kinds of politics. It's sort of what usually is called politics, which is sort of power struggles and on a sort of international level. And then there's the other politics, which I think I deal with, which is about do you get along with the people you love, and those kind of relationships or those kind of personal politics. I think it's very important in times of war is to not forget the personal politics, if you want, that and I think music is about that. I don't think the way to deal with the September 11th is to sit down and write a song about it. I think you have to sit down and write a song about something else, because there are more things in the world than Bush and Bin Laden. Thank God.
I think sometimes, you know, listening to your music over the years, there's kind of a, I don't know, and I don't mean this, you know, patronising or whatever, that there is a kind of a childlike sort of purity or even beauty to what you do. Is that, do you think you, or is that an Icelandic thing? Is this that's a sort of purity of where you're from or whatever?
I think it's probably not fair on Iceland to think all the people over there are like me.
Okay.
Because
I'm very lucky because I worked with people since I was like 16.
Yes.
Same people. So I have, I think it's called in common language, full artistic control.
What you have?
Yeah.
And only very few people have this.
how I remember it, in school I was, I guess, sort of the eccentric in the back. But I was never teased or anything. For some reason, people just left me in peace. Maybe just because I was kind of euphoric most of the time, kind of in my own bubble. So it didn't really threaten anyone, I guess.
What was your favorite subject in school?
Mathematics. I think it's a known fact, actually, that if you go to university and you take, for example, mathematical students, almost all of them are obsessed with music. And you go to the physics department, and none of them are. They're more into how things react to each other, like theater or social things. In a way, music and mathematics are very similar. I mean, who could explain that if you play a certain note 53 times and then another note 10 times, you get a certain emotion with most humans, and it makes no sense.
Truly, with hand on my heart, feel that I'm doing music for the everyday person. Like, I could have so easily gone and become a composer and done some avant-garde music in some corner for the chosen 11.5 person. But I've never wanted to do that. I think my role is more to be some sort of a communicator between all sort of different worlds. I want to do so many things and I've got so little time. London is gorgeous because it functions as a brewing pot for people from all over the planet on similar missions to me. And if I don't talk to them regularly and I don't see them play regularly, I just go mad. You know, in Iceland I was very much the odd one out, you see. I just need to know that I'm not the only one. Don't be scared. Just have to go with the flow and see what happens.